So I can't explain why this eyeball seems to want to tarantula it up with the lashes, but it's all good. So today I really want to talk to you guys about the new advanced artistry kits from Sigma. They have 3 new kits, or you can buy all as one, and they are awesome. So the thing I like about Sigma brushes, especially now, like they've really evolved as a brand in the past couple of years, but something that they do that a lot of brands don't is they are constantly reshaping the mold for brushes. I find that a lot of brands come out with there's like a set of brushes that every brand comes out with. You know what I mean? Like you always see the eyeshadow brush, the blending brush, the blush brush. There's always like the same. Like when I say those brush types, you immediately picture a certain type of brush. And something that Sigma does a lot is that they really take that and they go, okay, so this is the eye brush. How can we change it? How can we improve it? How can we make it something different so that it's more specific for a certain type of technique? So these 3 kits really zone in on that idea of having specific techniques that they are designed around. So there are 3 kits. There is the Spot On Concealer Kit, the Extreme Color Payoff Kit, and the Perfect Blend Kit. And so in this video, I'm going to show you all of the brushes, and I'm going to kind of demo how to use them on my face. So you'll get an idea of how each brush works, because some of them, when I opened the package and I looked at them, I was like, what is that for? That is so different. All right, so the first kit I want to talk about is the Spot On Concealer Kit. So each of these kits comes with 6 brushes, and this kit has a lot of different brushes than what I think for as far as concealer goes. I mean, generally I just use my fingers for concealer, or I use one of the Sigma brushes, the precision ones, like this one or this one that kind of is shaped like a finger. But the brushes in this kit are very, very, very different from that, and they all have a specific purpose. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the Pinpoint Concealer Brush. The description of this says that it is best for coverage of small spots that need extra concealing. So what I use this for is for little blemishes. So this isn't necessarily for if you have an area of your face that just has a lot of acne. This is for if you've just got those random why are you here zits. So this brush will just dot concealer right on the redness and not put it all over your face, because sometimes it's super easy to go overboard with concealer and you just need it on just that spot, and so this will put it right there. Then the next brush is called the Detail Concealer, and you can see this is a brush that one of the ones I was like, what is this for? So the description says that you use it with a soft, light sweeping motion for a subtle touch of concealer. What I use this for is to blend out those little dots of concealer I used with the first brush, just so that it didn't get all over, because I just wanted that concealer right on top of those blemishes. And this brush really, because it's so long and it's pretty sparse, it's going to diffuse the concealer without dragging it all over. So it really worked well to blend out just that little bit of concealer. Another brush that's really good for blending out is the Airbrush Blender. This kind of looks like a blending brush that you would use for your eyes, but this brush is really good if you need to apply concealer to a more broad area than just a couple of blemishes. So if you have a breakout area, this brush would be really great, because it's going to apply the concealer and blend it out so that it is really diffused and it's not so thick looking. Because when you're using concealer, you want it to definitely cover, but you don't want it to end up looking cakey on the skin, and so this brush is really going to help to make that not happen. The next brush is the Angle Pixel Concealer, and this is another one that's kind of weird, but the point of this one is to get into really awkward areas, like the sides of your nose. So I tend to have redness around my nose, so this is actually a really cool brush for me. Or if you have a cold and your nose is all not being about your life, this is a really great brush for that, because you can just take your concealer and apply it right to those areas, and because of the angle, it's not gonna be hard to use. All right, next brush is the Angled Buff Concealer, and this one has an angle just like the previous brush, but this one is meant for more around the eyes. So this brush is really easy to get right underneath the eye area and even above the eyes if you have darkness you know, if you're tired, sometimes people have darkness around the top of their eyes too, and they just need to kind of even out their skin tone. This is a really great brush for that because it's very soft, so it's going to blend the concealer really nicely as well as apply it, and the angle is really good for that area of the face. The last brush for this kit is the Soft Blend Concealer. Now this is one that I was like, this is a concealer brush, it's huge. But this is a really great brush for anyone that might have rosacea or redness or needs to color correct a large area of the face, because it is a large brush, but it's going to create sort of a really light texture. So you would use this brush for like a large area. So if I had redness on my cheeks, I could apply a good amount of concealer and then apply foundation over it without it getting really cakey and being really obvious. So that is the Spot On Concealer Kit. So the next brush kit that I'm going to talk about is the Extreme Color Payoff Kit. Now these brushes are all super, super dense, and they're going to apply eyeshadow really pigmented, and it's awesome. So the first brush that I use is the cream color brush. This brush is great for just blending out any cream colors, or I used my NYX pencil in Milk today and I just applied it to the brush and then blended it out onto the eye. And so this is a nice brush because it's going to make sure you get that even color payoff, so it's not thick in some areas and thin in others, to make sure that it doesn't crease on you. The next brush is the Wide Shader, and this is a super, super dense brush and is really good for applying one color all over the lid. So this is good if you like have a base color that you're going to use, because you can either sweep it on or press it on and get really even, really intense color payoff. And something I noticed with all of these brushes is that I got little to no fallout, which is awesome, because usually when you're applying bright colors like I was, fallout can kind of be inevitable. So these colors giving you really nice color payoff as well as making sure that the color actually goes where it's supposed to is kind of a huge plus for me. The next brush I used is the Firm Shader. This brush is meant to give you intense color on the lid, but in a controlled manner. So it kind of is like a smaller version of the Wide Shader, the first brush that I used. So this is a good brush if you want to apply color into the outer or inner corners and you don't want it throughout the whole lid, because it'll apply super, super intensely, but a little bit more controlled than the Wide Shader, as it's less than half the size. So the next brush is the Firm Blender, and this one is for intense, even blending of the crease for a strong color application. So this brush you could actually just use to blend out the colors if you want, but it's also great because you can apply and blend at the same time, where most blending brushes, they're not so good at applying color as they are blending it out. Of course you can use them to apply color, but it's not going to get like an intense payoff. The point of blending it is to kind of diffuse it out. So this one is good with both of those things. The Short Shader brush is nice and short, and it's very dense. So this is an awesome brush to apply color underneath the lids. A lot of brushes like this, you can apply color, but it's not going to stick as nicely. I found with this one, it was like I applied a pencil and then applied color. It really, really kept it incredibly pigmented, and it also blended it out without it going too blended. So I do like this brush a lot. The last brush in this kit is the pencil. Now, if you're like me, you probably have quite a few pencil brushes, and they come in all different shapes and sizes. This one's nice because it's a different type of material than the majority of pencil brushes that I have. It is definitely much denser, and it works really well at applying color if you were gonna blend out a pencil, like a eye pencil on the lid, or you're gonna blend a darker color into the crease or onto the lash line. And it also works really well, is what I used it for this look, was just to apply color into the inner corner, and it kept it really pigmented, which is what I like, because I like applying a bright whitish color right into the corners, and a lot of the times that can end up not looking as bright if I don't use like a base, and I didn't, and this actually turned out really well. So that is the Extreme Color Payoff Kit. And then finally we have the Perfect Blend Kit. So because this kit is meant for blending, I went ahead and for my demo eye, I just applied my base color, because these brushes can apply color, like you'll see I do apply colors with them, but not the main color, so just letting you know that. So the first brush that I use here is called Exact Blend. And so this one is meant to blend intense color onto the outer corner of the eye. So that's exactly what I did. And so this brush is kind of the shape of an eyeshadow brush. So it works well to apply the color to the outer corners of the eye or even the inner corners, and then it's still sparse enough, it's still like floppy enough to actually blend instead of just applying. So it actually works well to do both. So you can apply the color and then just lightly go over the edges and it'll blend the two shades together. The next brush is super weird. It's called the Pointed Crease, and this was one where I was like, what the heck is this thing? So the point of it is to use the tip of the brush, you pick up darker color and you apply it in a rolling motion to the crease. So I did that, and it's actually really cool because you get that pointed kind of cut crease look, but it's just blended enough where it's not like a super harsh line. So this is definitely an interesting brush that I can see myself using, and I love the fact that I've never seen anything like this before. The next brush is Diffused Crease. So this is meant to blend a strong color into the crease and really diffuse it out. I used it in the crease so that I still had that pointed, very defined crease I got from the Pointed Crease brush, but it just blended out a little bit more broadly into upwards into the brow bone, because I just want it to be a little bit thicker crease. So this is a good brush for that, or this is a good brush if you just didn't want any sort of defined look and you just really wanted the color just to nicely blend out. This brush will be great for that. Next brush is the Buff and Blend, and this one is best for blending smaller areas for a precise finish. This is also just a good one for blending out any colors. You're not going to get like an overall blend because it is definitely firmer than most brushes that are meant to blend out areas. So this one would be good if you had a couple of colors on the lid and you just wanted to blend out little areas. This next brush I love the idea of. It's called the All Over Blend, and this is a good brush for if you've got a really soft look and you just want everything to smoothly blend together. So I used it all over the lid like I'm supposed to, and it just really helps to kind of diffuse everything. So it's kind of like the blur tool on Photoshop, just kind of making everything chill, making everything kind of meld together, and it's a neat brush. I like it. This last brush I love. It is the Highlight Diffuser. Now I love applying a highlight shade right under the brow bone, but sometimes what you want to do is to apply it and also have it blend into your crease color. And because of the shape of this brush, because it's got that angle, it fits right there. And because of the bristles and the softness of it, oh, did you see that? That's, whoo! Because of the bristles and the softness of it, you're going to slightly blend out the edges of the crease while applying this color. So it's kind of like a double, like 2-in-1 brush. So each of these kits cost $63, so that comes out to just over $10 per brush, or you can get all 3 kits together as the Advanced Artistry kit, and that costs $175, which comes out to just under $10 a brush. And then on top of that, you can use Sigma's 10% off promo code, and you could get even more of a discount, so the brushes would come out to even less. So that discount code will be in the description below, and I definitely recommend using it. And so I know that I've mentioned this in the past, but I really think that getting quality brushes is incredibly important for makeup artistry. I feel like you could get actual makeup that is not so stellar, but as long as you have really good brushes, you can make it work. Where if you get the best makeup in the entire world and you have crappy brushes, it's gonna look crappy, like it's crappy makeup. So I think having good brushes is definitely where you should invest your money in your makeup kit versus necessarily spending a lot of money on the products, the makeup itself. So I like these brushes. I like how different they are. I like how unique Sigma has made them, and I think they're worth checking out. So I will have a link below to xsparkage.com where I have photos of all of these brushes if you wanted still photos, and that's about it. So if you guys are getting these, let me know. Let me know what you think of these, if they're weird, if they're cool, your thoughts, and I'll see you later.